Coindrum, very simply, operates self-service machines in airports that people can use to deposit all their leftover coins when they're about to leave the currency area. The idea for Coindrum came from an incident where I was just coming from the airport in my car and I was paying my motorway toll. And the way you do that is you throw a couple of coins into a machine to make the barrier go up. And in that moment, I had a couple of different currency coins in my hands, and I thought, I would love a machine like that in the airport where I can get rid of all my coin currency. And that's really where the machine started. I literally got out of the car and took a picture of the supplier of that equipment. And a bit of research later, it turns out that obviously, in an airport, there is not the problem of having to lift a barrier. Instead, the problem in the airport environment is that not enough travelers actually start shopping in duty-free. So the model that we then formed was, well, we have these self-service units. You can deposit all your leftover coins, and in return, we will print you a voucher for duty-free, which is actually worth more than what you put in. So if you put €5 in, you get a €5.50 voucher to spend in duty-free. So not only do we help the passenger with their coin inconvenience, but we also create a new shopper, a new person in the duty-free environment who starts to spend money, which otherwise probably wouldn't have happened. So the biggest challenge in the life cycle of Coindrum to date, I think, was sort of transitioning from what was essentially a student with an idea, a PowerPoint, to a sort of mature proposition that had an actual product and data that sort of validates what we're trying to do. So it was very hard to find an airport, which are often big, organizations with even government shareholders involved, etc., to give you a shot essentially. And Dublin Airport took that gamble on ourselves, and that very much was the breaking point for the business, where I went from a student with an idea to a proven working product that had some metrics behind it, which completely changes the sales conversation. Because now we can say, look, how many people use the service and how much they spend with their vouchers, and it's doing really well for you in duty-free. And then airports usually come to their own conclusion that they want to partake. Dublin Airport was our very first client, and we're actually there in both terminals today. It's, as our home airport, a very important flag for us to have. And as a matter of fact, I think one of the first people to meet me in the airport was the CEO of the duty-free retailer, Jack McGowan, who was able to just look at the concept and agree that there is something there, and gave us a shot, which now has turned into a great partnership, and to that breaking point where the business was able to generate some first data and prove the technical and commercial viability of the business, and that then led to many other installations. Well, when I first started out and we installed our very first Coindrum machine in Dublin Airport, I had been working a lot, and the thing was finally in place, and the first passenger sort of walked up to the machine, and I was so excited that things are now starting, and I just watched them get out their boarding pass and try to put a boarding pass into the machine. And I thought, oh no, this is not what this is for. But although a funny story, there was a learning curve there. So one of the main things we've done is understand how we have to brand the machine and the service to make people understand the concept. And that was a learning curve from that day. Coindrum is in 6 countries in Europe at the moment, in 10 airports. Dublin is our home airport included. We're very quickly scaling at the moment, and we just signed the largest international airport in the world, Dubai International Airport. So we're excited to be launching there very shortly as well. Take the leap of faith. You will never, before you actually do something and put a minimum viable product or something into the field, even if that doesn't end up being a final service, you're very likely to learn something from the service or pivot the product to something where there might be a market for it. The other thing I will say is that it's very important, that there's a lot of uncertainty in the early days, and especially if you haven't done it before, just make sure to surround yourself with people that maybe have been through the journey and can lend their name and therefore credibility to the business, but also can work as a mentor for you personally.